Conditions varied from day to day. Sometimes there was very little food, and in the past month there have been water cuts, cuts of electricity. When the roads into Luanda are cut, no food comes in, and within a few days there are no vegetables or bread. So that really conditions are very erratic in Luanda.
A number of other Britons, though, have decided to stay. What sort of risk do you think they face?
Very few have decided to stay. Those who've decided to stay are usually, in most cases, men who are directors of large businesses who have responsibilities to their employees and who had insufficient time to pay them off and make arrangements for the continuation of the business. They have taken a risk, and it's a risk, calculated risk. In my opinion, individuals can look after themselves, but when you have to deal with a community of, say, 50 or 60 people, you have to consider everybody. And therefore it was necessary to make arrangements for the safety of everybody and to get them out while the airport was in Portuguese hands and was usable.
There were reports that there was firing at the airport today when you left. Is that true?
Not when we left. There may have been afterwards. But when we left, which was quite early in the morning, there was no firing at the airport itself. But it's a characteristic of fighting in Luanda that it stops in the early morning, starts again later in the day, and stops for tea, stops for lunch.
What is the general attitude of the liberation movements towards white people in Angola now?
On the whole, they would be glad if the whites would leave them alone. They're prepared at the moment to leave the whites alone. In places inland in Angola, in recent days, the movements have rounded up the white people and said, you take shelter in the Portuguese barracks, and when they've done so, movements have had a big fight between themselves, saying, right, the whites are out of the way, if you're not for us, you're against us. And there have been massacres of the blacks by the blacks, but the whites have been left alone.